What's going on, everyone? I want to have a very, very serious conversation right now because people is just like off the hook. They off the chain. People feel like they can say whatever they want to say, and which you do have the right to say whatever you want to say. But we got to think logically about everything that's happening and everything that's going on. And I want to explain to the members my journey leading up to this very day. First and foremost, I want to say thank you to all the Progressive Action supporters. When I first started this movement, a lot of people, and I'm going to say almost everyone, did not believe in the vision that I had to bring change within this union. Right? They didn't believe it. What's up, Dominique? They didn't believe in the vision that I had to bring change to this union. Right? But I knew what the vision was, and I knew how I wanted to see it through. And I just stayed steadfast on this journey, right? From when I first started Progressive Action in 2015, I've never taken a day off. I've never taken a day off up until this very day, right? We talking about 9 years straight worth of work, right? And like I said in the beginning, a lot of people did not believe of the vision of what I was trying to do with bringing information to the union and make us stronger. When I first started Progressive Action, I was bipartisan. I wanted to allow the union incumbents to get involved. I wanted to allow the opposition to get involved. I believe that they should have heard all sides of the argument. When we started getting our feet up under us, me and my cousin Jamel, because we started Progressive Action, the incumbents, the Stand United incumbents, was thinking that Roger Toussaint was funding the operation. Roger Toussaint didn't have nothing to do with Progressive Action. He never did. Roger Toussaint gave me a lot of history, in which I'm very grateful for. He gave me a lot of information, and it felt good to speak to a former president about the business of Local 100. To be honest, when I first ran for president of Local 100, I did it because the members asked me to do it. I did it because at that time, a year and a half after starting Progressive Action, people started to believe in the vision, right? They started to see what I was talking about. Some people who still around me to this day came on board. We have Jocelyn. Jocelyn don't work for Transit no more, but she's still involved with the movement. We had Nuke. We have Ben. We have Jason. I think that's the core set of members, if I'm not mistaken, that actually was banging day in and day out with me without taking any days off, right? So salute to them. Drummond came along a little later during this process. But Drummond is very instrumental in this movement also, right? I've accomplished and done things that people wouldn't have thought of doing. I put a casket not once but twice in front of MTA headquarters. I had rallies in front of the chairman of MTA House. I did so many things I can't even forget about. I went to Albany to lobby for us. I've written politicians. I had protests. I went to MTA board meetings. I've done a whole bunch of stuff to advocate for the members, right? So for anyone to question where I stand at with the members is beyond me. I don't even get it, right? And I'm not here to try to change anybody's mind. If that's what you think, then that's what you think. But nobody, I'm going to say this loud and clear, nobody has done the work that Tremel Thompson and Progressive Action has done these past 9 years? Nobody. Nobody. Right? Now, when we look at the reason why I got terminated from the MTA, it was not because of operational incidents. It wasn't because I was a bad conductor. It wasn't because I wasn't coming to work. It was because I was advocating for the members. Simple as that. They got me for social media stuff, whistleblowing, all types of stuff. I was fighting for you guys, right? And I don't understand how anyone could question the work that I've put in this whole entire time during my transit career, right? Now, I believe in a higher power. I believe in God. I believe that everything happens for a reason, whether it's good or bad. When COVID had happened and I took a stance of, people should have the choice to get the vaccine or not, that's when I entered the health freedom space. And this health freedom space is what catapulted me into where I'm at today. And I organized a rally in Albany, New York. One of the key organizers for Albany, New York. Oh, hold on one second. Thanks, caller. You right. Nobody, and I never was an elected rep. We must keep that in mind. I never was elected. And we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that. I need for you guys to share this out because I need people to hear this message. This is very important. When I entered this medical freedom space and I had the rally at Albany and I tore up my vaccination card, that was the beginning of something beautiful for the transformation of Tremel Thompson. I'm not here to tell you that I'm perfect. I'm not here to tell you that I know everything. I'm not here to tell you that I do everything right. But one thing that you're going to get out of me is that I'm going to fight on behalf of the members and I'm going to advocate for you guys, even if it doesn't affect me, right? If it doesn't affect me directly. So in this medical freedom space, what I did when I tore my vaccination card, that went viral. When that went viral, that allowed me to be in different spaces throughout the country and be around some elite folks such as RFK Jr. and other top people who took a liking to me, who love my advocacy, who love my position on things, and my charisma, my God-given talents allowed me to move further in these spaces, right? I got sick with COVID really bad. Everybody that knows me knows that I'm an asthmatic, and COVID hit me hard, and I still feel the effects from COVID till today, right? I was out of work, but I was still doing the work for the members. The MTA put me under an investigation where they followed my car. They tapped into my bank accounts. They called my friends. They had surveillance in front of my home, all types of stuff. I ended up winning and beating that case, right? I was out for that. I came back to work. Probably like a few months after I came back to work, I got spit on. And I went out again because I was very upset. Everyone knows when, in our community, especially the black community, that spitting at somebody or spitting on somebody is one of the worst things that could happen, right? It's one of the worst things that could happen. And I went out of work because of that, and I'm still upset. I'm still upset because I got spit on. That's something that I can't live down. The MTA fought me on that. They didn't pay me for that. I came back to work, I think October, November of 2022. At that point, I was ready to get back to my job, have some skin in the game, and be there for the members and be there with the members, which is very important to me. It's very important for me to be in uniform with you guys, speak to y'all every day, be in the terminals, and all that stuff. And I really, truly love my job. I love the fact that, and this may sound corny to some of y'all, but I really love the fact that I could be in one corner of the city 1 hour, and then be in another corner of the city in the next hour, 2 hours, depending on which line you on, and experience different people, different cultures, different food, and all that other stuff, right? I love my job. So when I came back from the spitting incident, I was ready to rock and roll and be there with you guys. When that situation happened where I got jumped by Davis and Gomez, and the situation transpired the way that it did, and my type of injury, I had to ask God. I said, God, what do you have in store for me? Because this doesn't make no sense. I just came back to work and this serious situation happened, which is going to keep me out of work for a long time. And I just didn't understand. I didn't understand it. I'm like, God, what do you have in store for me? What's your plan for me? Because this doesn't make sense. And people don't know what I went through during that time. I didn't have no employment. I had to listen to this. I had to relearn how to walk again. I had to relearn how to walk again. Right after this incident. Right? I mean, people just don't understand what I went through. Richie Davis, who wasn't even there for the situation, hurt me by giving a quote to the Daily News saying that I sucker punched or whatever. I did what I did, which wasn't true. And in my damn packet, someone said the total opposite, who was a witness that was there. Right? So everybody set out to hurt me. Richie Davis. And prior to the assault, a couple of weeks before the assault, and just to back it up, in August 2022, I had sat down with Richie Davis, and he was like, look, Tramel, I'm going to bring you in on the administration. I just got to wait till I'm officially the president. You know, you tying on them, don't want you here, but I'm going to do what I got to do to get you on. And we had a working relationship. I don't know what happened between that meeting in August of 2022 and that mass membership meeting of January 2023, where Richard Davis decided to read a text message of mine, where I'm giving him advice as a black man. I'm giving him guidance as a black man to tell him that, look, you're not going to get the same opportunities that Samuelson and Utano have because you black. They're going to criticize you differently, bro. I don't know what happened, but he decided to read my text message at the mass membership meeting. And he kind of like sent some threats during that mass membership meeting, talking about we're not going to tolerate this. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. And I'm like, wow. And then coincidentally, 2 weeks after that, I get viciously assaulted at Bedford Park, in which I'm telling y'all, I had to literally learn how to walk again. And during that time, like I said, I spoke to God, and I'm like, God, what is the plan you have for me? What's your plan? Because I don't see it. And the sad part was that during the assault, they wanted to not only, I feel like, really physically harm me. They wanted to get me arrested. They wanted to see me in jail. You know, they was doing the most to get me out the way. But during this journey, you know, immediately when I found out how my leg was broken, the path to recovery, still going through the discipline process and things of that nature, I didn't have the answer. Now, a couple of months after the assault, I'm still relearning how to walk. My friend Robert F. Kennedy Jr. had called me and said, Tramel, I'm running for president. And we had a conversation, and I told him I would support him in any kind of which way I can. He asked me to come up to Boston for his coming out party announcement or whatever the case was. And I couldn't make it because I couldn't walk. I was in really bad shape. But I told him that I would help him out in any which way that I can. So, you know, he told me that he was coming to New York in the summertime. And I said, all right, allow me to get a couple of days of your schedule to try to help you whichever way that I can. And he came to New York. I took him to Harlem. I took him to my friend restaurant in Queens. Some transit workers was there. Shout out to y'all. I took him to the Math Hoffa, my expert opinion podcast. To the Apollo. We did a lot of things. And at the end of that first day, he was like, Tramel, I need you on my staff. And for me, it was the opportunity of a lifetime to be a part and have a seat at the table for a presidential campaign. It meant a lot to me because I'm a kid from the projects. I was born in Tompkins Projects. I grew up on Gates and Stuyvesant, and Stuyvesant Gardens projects. And I made a name for myself over there. But I came from nothing. So for a man like Robert F. Kennedy Jr. to ask me, who came from nothing, who don't have no national political experience at the time, to be an advisor on his campaign and to help him move around, it was an honor. And then I started to think about the conversation that I was having with God when this first happened. And I think I said, God, I think I know why you kept me out and why this happened. So we progressing through the campaign. Everything is going smooth or whatever. I'm getting the front seat to things that I normally would not know. You know, I don't have to go to the media, MSNBC, ABC, or any of those people to see what was happening firsthand, right? I'm seeing how the media is spinning narratives on our campaign. I'm seeing how they lying on RFK Jr. I'm seeing how they was trying to basically bury our campaign. And not only that, I got a different outlook on how the Democratic Party really function. And I was really disgusted with the Democratic Party because everything that we accuse the Republicans of doing, the Democrats actually was doing it. And trust me, I was taken aback by it. I did not understand what was really happening. Like, is this really politics? Is this what we really talking about here? So fast forward, they would not let us in the primaries. They was making all these excuses. They was changing the rules on us. They was doing actually a lot of the stuff that Local 100, the administration, the current administration that's in there now, was doing. They was doing a lot of that. And like I said, I couldn't understand it. So the Democrats basically forced us to go independent. Do you know how hard that was for RFK Jr. to go independent when his father and his uncle were the ones who made the Democratic Party what we thought it was or what we think it should be today? Do you know how hard it was for that man to do that? See, y'all wasn't there to see that. Y'all wasn't there to have the conversations. Y'all wasn't on those phone calls, on those meetings to know what we went through during that time. And we could not believe how these Democrats was treating us when we was running. So we went independent, right? So we run it independent. The Democratic Party did something else different. They did something, this strategy called lawfare, in which they was, if y'all paid attention to the news, y'all would see that the Democrats and the Republicans spent over $1 billion on their campaign this election. Unprecedented. Unprecedented. Right? And part of that money that the Democrats, because the Republicans never win at us, right? What the Democrats was doing this thing called lawfare to remove us off the ballot in every state that we was in. After we got the thousands and thousands of signatures put in the work, they tied us up, keeping us in court, knowing that we didn't have the war chest that they have, knowing that we didn't have the funding that they have. And in order for us to continue to remain on the ballot and run as independents, we had to fight these lawsuits. We had about 20 different lawsuits going on at the same time, and it was costing us so much money. So much money. Right? So it came to the point where they was bankrupting the campaign and we had to drop out. So RFK Jr. did the most responsible thing that a candidate would do. First thing he did was reach out to the Democrats. He reached out to Kamala. right? And tried to get a sit down with Kamala and say, hey, we need to work together. It was not Trump first. He didn't reach out to them first. We reached out to the Democrats first, and we tried to see how can we help each other. Kamala never took the phone call. Kamala never entertained sitting down with RFK, right? So after President Trump, the attempted assassination happened, and everybody have their thoughts on that. Oh, it was set up, it was fake, it was this, it was that. Kennedy reached out, or maybe Trump reached out to Kennedy, and they had a conversation. And the conversation that they had, they seen that they was aligned with certain things, making America healthy again, getting rid of the corruption, and all this other stuff, right? So they had interest with each other in which they aligned on. And remember, at the time, Kamala and the Democrats wanted nothing to do with us. Nothing to do with us. Trump, one thing I respect about Trump is that Trump is always willing to take the meeting. Trump would sit down with people who he do not agree with and try to listen to them to find a way. He's going to have his position, and the person he's sitting down with is going to have their position. We seen it with Ice Cube, when Ice Cube was trying to do the plan for Black America back in 2020, 2019. The Democrats didn't want nothing to do with the plan of Black America. Trump people said, Ice Cube, let's sit down and we talk. And what they did was, some of the plan that Ice Cube had for Black America was instituted into Trump's platinum plan. So Trump has a history of sitting down with people who he doesn't agree with, and people sit down with him who they don't agree with him to try to get things done, because that's what this is about. This is about getting things done. This is about sitting down with people that you normally would not agree with and finding common ground to get whatever you advocating for done. It's basically lobbying. It's basically what happens in Albany every day. It's basically what happens in all political circles every day. And one thing about politics is that the people that's on the ground level, the people who don't have no inside connect and not connected to these politicians and get all their information from mainstream media, we be more vile against each other than the candidates be vile against themselves. Because what we don't see happen behind the scenes is that when these elections are over, these people become friends. They shake hands. They remain cordial with each other, while we constantly at odds, because they got us so separated. They got us choosing these parties as if they gangs, in which they do operate like gangs a lot of the time, and they put us against each other. We have more animosity and hate towards each other than the actual candidates do. That needs to stop, right? Because they realize that they have to work together, right? And the real way to work together is to be bipartisan, to hear both sides. I'm an independent. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. I'm an independent because I realize, and I'm smart enough to know, that there's some things that the Democrats are right about. There's some things that the Republicans is right about. There's some things that the Republicans is wrong about. There's some things that the Democrats are wrong about. I am not giving blind loyalty to a political party anymore. It's about what you could do for the purposes that I'm interested in, whether it's helping Local 100 members, whether it's weeding out the corruption and the MTA and Local 100. Those are my interests right now. Labor is my interest right now, right? The other things go be what they go be, but what are your interests? You're supposed to go where your interests lie. You understand what I'm saying? So when Trump and Bobby RFK Jr. collaborated, I was in a position like, how can I really, can I really support this? And then I thought about you guys. I thought about the possibilities of, if Trump win this election, how can I help the members of Local 100? How can I weed out the corruption in Local 100? How can I weed out the corruption of the MTA? Who would be more qualified to tell the federal government what's going on in both of these different entities. So I said, I'm going to hedge my bets, and I'm going to try to help out as much as I can, because I've had special conversations regarding what I may be doing if Trump was to win. And this was earlier. This was way before the election. So things was happening. And like I said, there's things that I do not agree with Trump, like the Supreme Court, the way that's mapped out, what they dismantling, what he's saying about giving immunity to the police, even though a lot of people got that twisted. The only thing he could affect is the Department of Justice, and the Department of Justice only do symbolism for black folks. And I'm gonna give you an example. When George Floyd got killed, the state charged the police officer, Derek Chauvin, with 22 and a half years. The Department of Justice gave Derek Chauvin 21 and a half years, which his sentence will run concurrently with the state sentence, which means that he's serving two sentences at the same time, and which also means that it's a symbolic gesture what the Department of Justice did. The Department of Justice prosecute less than 1% of cases of police officer misconduct against black folk. So they not even consequential in justice. Real justice lies with the police on the local level. We have problems with our local laws and our state laws when it comes to police. If they actually did their job and prosecuted the police the way that they were supposed to, we wouldn't have to worry about the Department of Justice. I hear people arguing and saying that, Trump want to get rid of unions and stuff like that. We must understand that the president does not affect things on a state level, right? When it comes to OSHA, when it comes to the NLRB, that does not affect transit workers. Transit workers is not covered under OSHA or the NLRB. Transit workers are covered under the LMRDA and PESH, because we are state public employees. Trump will have no effect on state public employees. And I'm going to give you an example. Everyone remember Janice, right? When Janice got passed in the Supreme Court, right? People thinking, oh, it's going to affect transit workers. Nah, it's not going to affect transit workers. Why? Because during the time, Cuomo instituted law that strengthened unions in response to Janice, and nobody opted out of the union. So, yeah, Trump would do some things on the federal level that could hurt people for sure. But for when it comes to New York City Transit MTA workers, business, nah, it don't affect us. It don't affect us at all. Once again, we covered under the LMRDA and PESH when it comes to those things. Right now, he's going to affect non-public working unions. But like I said, my interest lies with the members, right? We have our own problems. I don't want to worry about what's going on over here unless I have to do that job. But my interest right now lies with us. We don't need to stretch ourselves thin. We need to focus on what's happening at home right now. That's what we need to focus on, right? So, yeah, I have my issues with Trump, right? I have my issues with a lot of people. I have my issues with my parents. There's just things that I don't 100% agree with people on. It don't matter who it is. My nose is itching. Allergies mess with me. So, yeah, there's things that I don't agree on. We all agree with that. But a lot of the stuff about Trump is false, and it's because we don't do our research, and it's all good. I mean, it's not all good, but we must do our research and our due diligence to really know what's going on here. Right? Now, during these past 2 weeks, I posted a picture of myself, Sheree Peoples, Trump, and a couple of other people. Because I went to his rally in Georgia. I was asked to come down and be a special guest and do some things down there. And my interest with that lied with helping Sheree Peoples get her story out there. Somebody that Kamala affected through laws that she enacted in California. Right? Does that mean that I'm a full supporter of Trump? No, like I said, there's things I agree with Trump on, and there's things that I don't agree with Trump on, right? But should that stop me from having a seat at the table to advocate for the interests that we believe in, right? No, it shouldn't. No, it shouldn't. Now, in my wildest dreams, Tremel Thompson did not think that he would be in this position to be around the Trump, to be around the RFK, and to be around a whole bunch of other people in which I'm not going to name their names because it may scare y'all. It may scare y'all. But, and a whole bunch of elite people. Once again, I came from the projects. I'm from Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn, right? I'm a fired transit worker. I was a conductor. I never was elected. I never was released. I did all of this work from my tools. Now, when I was going through the situation with Gomez, a lot of people thought that I got fired because of the fight. I did not get fired because of the fight. I did not get fired because of the fight. I got fired because of whistleblowing. After I didn't get fired because of the fight, the MTA miraculously came up with like 3 or 4 new charges regarding whistleblowing and reporting incidents. And that was the knockout blow for me. It was not because of the fight, so we don't need to address that. So I believe if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. And I'm always trying to think of ways to reinvent myself, to make myself more marketable, to further my education and things like that. So during this journey, when I was going through what I was going through, I decided to go to Harvard Business School and pursue credentials in leadership and management, right? Because I had the plan for my future. I always thought that the MTA was going to try to fire me in some form or fashion. And if that happens, then what's next? I don't want to be caught flat-footed. I want to continue to elevate. Me being able to get this election on my resume and winning is very important. And me almost finishing my credentials with Harvard Business School. I have 1 more week left. 1 more week left before I finish my final course, before I get my specialization in leadership and management. I just wanted to be ready because deep down inside, and I was following God's plans. These are not my plans. I was following God's plans, and I just wanted to be ready for this moment, that when the opportunity is given to me, that I will be ready for it on all levels, mentally, educational, spiritually, physically, all the above, right? So now we are here. Trump won the presidency. There's a lot of moving parts. We have our own election coming up. And I want to address some things, because this is where it's about to get deep at. Because our people, and I'm talking about black folks because only black folks do this to me. Our people love to threaten people who's doing stuff for them. After everything that I've been through in transit, from relearning how to walk again, to the discipline, to getting terminated, to the attacks on my family, I could have walked away from all of this and went to go on with my life. Because the reality is that I'm advocating and fighting for members who don't care to fight for themselves. We are all in this together. And every election cycle, I get black folks that love to threaten me with their vote. Now, I was asked this question, and I want to be honest. It's one of the stupidest questions that I've ever been asked. A couple of people asked me, Tremel, if you don't get voted in, are you still going to advocate, or are you still going to do what you got to do for the members? I want y'all to think about this for a second. I'm currently terminated. Nobody's asking me, do I need any resources? Nobody asking me, do I need any help outside of my circle? Shout out to Austin. Shout out to everybody on my team. Shout out to Jermaine. Shout out to David Modest. Shout out to Becky and her boyfriend. Shout out to everybody that helped me. I don't care if y'all say, yo, Tramel, how can I help you this election, whatever the case is. People love to threaten me with their vote. So this is what they asked me. This is the stupid question that I was asked. If you're not voted in, are you still going to advocate and fight for the members? I want to ask y'all this question. And I want to ask the women. And the reason I'm going to ask the women, because this is one of the most, because I think women will relate to me more. And I think alpha males will relate to me more on this. And I'm going to ask both of y'all. Ladies, would you still take care for a man, cook for a man, make sure his clothes is clean, if he cheated on you with another woman and in a relationship with another woman? Write in the comments, what would you do? Would you still do that stuff for a man after he kicked you to the curb and went on to another woman? To the fellas, would you still take care? And I'm talking about the alpha males. You simps, y'all be doing a whole bunch of stuff I don't agree with. I'm talking to the alpha males. Would you take care of a woman who cheated on you, who kicked you out of her home? Would you still buy her gifts? Would you still make sure that she ate? Would you take care of her children? Would you do all of that if she took care of you? And I'm speaking to alpha males. I see beta males and simps do that all day. Write in the comments what you would do. Why would I waste my time if the members do not want me here? Why would you waste your time in a relationship if your partner does not want you there? I want y'all to answer that for me. You got people that's on these Facebook pages and these transit groups saying, oh, if you not go fight for us, if you don't get voted in, then I'm not voting for you because basically I need to continue fighting for the members if the members don't want me here. Nah, it don't work like that. If you want me to do the work of the members and fight for y'all and do it on a level that was never done before, like I said earlier in this live, people never done the things that I've done before. Caskets in front of 2 Broadway, rallies in front of the MTA chairman house, MTA board meetings, bringing up hundreds of people to the MTA board meetings, going to Albany advocating for members, putting my own career on the line for you. And guess what? The people who saying this stuff, oh, I'm not going to vote for you if you don't do this. I get threatened with that every election. Guess what I tell you every election? Keep your vote. I don't want it. I don't want your vote. Keep it. If you think that threatening me with your vote is going to help you, then do it. Go vote for somebody else, because everything else is the status quo. Every damn thing else is the status quo. Not one person got the resume that I got and challenged the MTA and the union like me. So if you want to threaten me with your vote, then go vote for those other candidates. I'm not for you. Now, if I happen to not get voted in, I'm going to still help the people who helped me get to where I'm at today. Because the truth is that I would not have gotten to this level if you guys did not give me something to fight for. So when people call me individually and say, Tramel, I need help with this, or can you do this, or can you do that, or can you point me in the right direction for this? I'm going to help them because I'm not going to turn my back on my people. But as far as advocating for people who kicked me out the house, kicked me out the whip, as they say, that's done. If you want me to do the work, you got to vote me in. I mean, for people to think any other type of way is the most foolish thing I have ever heard of. Right? And like I said, I'm going to continue to expose the corruption in the MTA. That's never going to stop. I'm going to continue to expose the corruption in the union. But as far as me doing day-to-day work, if the members vote me out, I'm going to look at that as the end of the chapter. Tramel Thompson is going to move on to bigger and better things. I'm going to finally find a way to put my family first, because I never put my family first throughout all this. Y'all don't know what I went through with my family during this whole entire fight. Y'all don't understand that. Right? But I'm going to do things that's other things that I'm passionate about, like fixing up my communities, getting funding to my communities, still doing stuff on labor. But my interest is not going to be on doing the day-to-day work of the union if I'm not voted in. That makes absolutely no sense. It makes absolutely no sense. So for those who want me to continue putting a foot in the union's ass and the MTA ass, y'all got to vote me in. I need a front row seat to the corruption. Now, I seen some people say, well, Tramel, how are you going to do an appointment with the federal government if I go there and work for the union at the same time? It's simple. I wouldn't work for the federal government. I wouldn't work for the federal government. I will be a consultant for the federal government. So guess what? When I hear that there's some corruption at Local 100, you know that picture of that black man with going like this? Yeah, that's going to be me. That's going to be me. I'm making phone calls. I'm telling them, you need to investigate this person. You need to investigate that person. You need to look into this. You need to look into that, because guess what? We don't have that right now. We don't have that right now. We don't got that right now. But with Tramel Thompson, you would have that, because we would have a seat at the table. See, that's the importance of having a seat at the table. You can make phone calls and get stuff done. But if I don't have a seat at the Local 100 table, I'm going to go do something else that I'm passionate about. I'm never going to stop advocating for the workforce in general, but it will not be a thing that I do on a day-to-day basis. That will be done. That would be done. Let me see if I could, I can't, let me see if, nobody don't want to come on here. Right? That will be done. But, yeah, that's the power of having a seat at the table. So if you think that you're going to dump me, kick me out the whip, and then say, well, Tramel, if you're still not going to advocate for us, if you don't get elected in, then guess what? We're not going to vote for you. Keep your fucking vote. Right? And I'm only speaking for myself. I'm speaking for myself. That don't apply to my team. That don't apply to them. You vote for them. If you mad at me, take it out on me. Because I want to tell you this. I want you guys to go into the comments of my posts that I make, especially the ones recently. Look at the people who's against me. Have you ever seen them on the front line? Nope. Have you ever seen them at an MTA board meeting? Nope. Have you ever seen them do a rally? Nope. Do they go to union meetings? Nope. Do they write governors, mayors, assembly people, council people on your behalf? Nope. So what are they talking about? Only thing they do is get on the internet and talk. And that's what we got to get away from. These people who come on the internet and talk and decide that want to threaten me every election. Well, if you don't do this, I ain't gonna vote for you. Nobody has a resume like me. I put the members first from when I first started this up until today. right? Now, I'm fighting my lawsuit in court against the MTA and the union, not specifically to get my job back, but I just want to leave on my own terms. That's all I want. When I decide that I'm done with the MTA, that's when I leave. I don't want them to go about it the way that they did with the straight corruption of what they did and how they got rid of me. I do not want that. Right? I don't like the way it didn't feel good. I never got fired or terminated from a job before. And I want to make sure that I win so I can leave on my own terms. But I want to advocate for you guys. I want to continue to be on the front line for you guys in a different capacity. I want to be the vice president of this union of RTO, because my advocacy is going to transform not only RTO, it's going to transform every department in this union. Why? Because they won't be able to do the corrupt stuff around me. All the allegations I'm hearing about the corruption and they taking money under the table from this one. This one is doing that one. This one is doing that one. Remember what I told y'all about the black man on the phone? DOJ, I got a tip for you here at Local 100. I think you may want to look into this. Oh, Tramel, yeah. How you doing? I'm good. Yeah, come down here and come look into it. And I got some documents for you. Because everybody know transit workers are scared. And I'm not talking about the workforce. I'm talking about the union. The union. They don't want to go to jail. They don't want to go to jail for corruption by the federal government. Oh, no, God. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. And then for all you people who say, yeah, Tramel, how do I stop paying union dues? How can we get a new union? How can I opt out of the union? How can we hold them accountable when they committing fraud? We got a seat at the table now. I can make a phone call. Everything I'm saying is verifiable. Kennedy is going to be on the transition team, which means that he's going to be choosing jobs for people in the Trump administration. Even if I don't work for the federal government, I could easily just make a phone call to get the ball rolling. Because remember, it ain't what you know, it's who you know. And what you know will determine how far that you get. Right? That's how this works. That's how this works. Right? But, man, this has been one hell of a journey. Y'all don't know what I went through, what I continue to go through. I would like to thank those who still support the movement. I'm still unemployed right now. I'm still not on nobody payroll. Right? I'm not employed by anyone. So if you want to donate to the movement, you still could donate to the movement. $ Progressive Action 100. Trust me when I tell you, when I get a job, y'all gonna be the first one to know. Either I'm gonna get elected for vice president of RTO, or I'm going to work for the federal government. Y'all going to be the first ones to know. For those who support me and continue to support me and been on this journey with me from start up until this point, thank you guys. I appreciate you guys. Thanks to everyone who donated 1 cent. Let me see what Carla said. Sad thing is some of the people who challenge you don't ever listen to your videos. They go by. Yeah, you know, that's expected. But what I expect is my supporters, the people who really support me. If you hear somebody talking stuff about me, then you correct them. You don't let those lies live. Right? Don't tell me, oh, Tramel, they were saying this about you, they were saying that about you, because the next question I'm gonna ask you, well, what did you say to correct them? Right? This is a time, we're in a space where we have to stand up. This is a time where we can't continue to be quiet. You have to protect the people who are your leaders. This is a real thing. You have to protect the people who are your leaders. If these people want the status quo, then let them have the status quo. If you want change, then you know what to do. If you want to help me this election to get elected, hit me in my inbox. Hit me in my inbox. I'll let you know how you can help advance the issues of transit workers. And the first step is to get me in there. The second step is to get me in there. The first step was for Trump to win this election. Yeah, Carla, I'm not questioning you. I know that you supported me from day one. Not only that, you came to meetings. You came to our meetings. You came to rallies. You did all that. I appreciate you and I love you. Right? I know that you in my corner. And if you ever need anything from me, I will be there for you. Right? And it's a few members like yourself who show that same type of love. And no matter where I'm at in life, just know that you will have an ally in me. No matter where I'm at, if I can help you in any capacity, I'm going to help you and others who show me the same type of love and support. That's a fact. That's a fact. One thing about me, I've been transparent this whole entire time. Right? I never lied to the members. I'm always on the front line. I'm easy to find. The only thing, I ain't gonna lie, I'm gonna share a little secret with y'all. The only thing that I get annoyed at is when people ask me stuff that they can actually Google. Like they treat me like I'm their personal assistant. Hey, can you send me, I seen somebody write in my comments, yo, you never sent me the contract. I'm not anyone's assistant. We must learn how to find information. Everybody got a smartphone in their hand, but they can't seem to find the easy stuff. It's easy. Local 100 contract, TW Local 100 contract. I'm quite sure will come up on social media, right? I'm quite sure will come up. If you need help with finding something within the contract, they're not gonna understand you hitting me. But people hitting me as if I'm their personal assistant. I'm not with that, especially when I created a website that not only give you the contract, it give you the bylaws, it give you the Constitution, it give you the MTA disciplinary manual, it gives you a whole bunch of things. Like, just use your phone. Like, I'm really busy. I'm fighting lawsuits by myself, and which is going good right now. I was helping with this presidential race. I got my own personal stuff going on. I'm unemployed. I have a lot of stuff going on. Help me help you. The problem with this membership is that we not doing enough to help each other. Right? We not doing enough to help each other. Everybody has a role to do. Every single person. Right? We all have skin in the game here. There's nobody in the fans. There's nobody in the stands watching the game. Any one of us could be substituted inside the game at any given time, and we got to be ready. I get it. Everybody don't want to lead. Everybody don't have that personality to lead. Everybody don't want that target on their back. You know what I'm saying? I get that. At least do something to help people who's fighting for you. Ask to hang up flyers. Ask to share videos. That's the easiest thing that you could do. I pay attention to everybody who share videos. I always click on the shares to see who shared what. Right? I always do that. There's different ways that you can help to get involved. If you're not standing on the side of me, you can stand on the back of me. If you don't want to be seen with me, you can do stuff behind the scenes. But everybody got to do something. And I'm not only talking about for me. It could be for the candidates. It could be for other movements. It could be for the administration. I don't care what side you choose. I just want members to be engaged, to get involved. The only time members want to get involved is if they're being offered or being seduced with release time. That's the only time they want to get involved. Right now, you have an ally in me, and everybody see what's going on. Y'all see the connections. Y'all see the plays that's being made. Now, when I was in Albany, when was that? Earlier this year, I spoke to Samuelson. Samuelson is someone who I do not agree with on a whole bunch of things. And at the time, I was trying to get him to sit down with RFK Jr. And he told me straight up, I'm not sitting down with no independent. I'm not sitting down with nobody because Biden gives me everything I want. But guess what? Biden is not here no more. Samuelson, you're going to have a hard time, a very hard time getting stuff done now, especially if it's possible that those things could come through me or have to come through me. Or if I could have any influence or make a phone call to say he's bullshitting, this is not what it is, this is the real issue, or whatever the case is. And guess what? Guess what, guys? Guess what, guys? Because I know this is on a lot of people's minds also. If I get elected, am I going to be able to work with Richie Davis? Abso-fucking-lutely. Absolutely. Because at that point, it's not about the personal issues that we have with each other. I'm not going to say I'm not going to keep it in the back of my mind or things of that nature. But it's about the members at that point. So yes, I will be able to work with Richie Davis. I personally think that Richie Davis should reach out to me now and we have a conversation as men. I believe that's the right thing to do. Right? Because if we got to work together and he's about making the members, and as he say, as his slate say, members first, then show me that the members is first. Because if y'all come in there, if I come in there and y'all think that y'all go treat me like shit, y'all gonna have a world of trouble. Trust me when I tell you. Me personally, I would rather keep the peace. I would rather y'all not move corrupt, because there's things that I'm not going to ignore. If I sense or smell corruption, there's going to be a problem. I think that once I get elected, I think that Richie should let me go about my business, let me handle the affairs of the department that I'm running in, and stay out of my way. But I think that the adult thing for him to do is to reach out to me and start creating some type of relationship now. Because, to be honest, whether I get in or not, if he don't establish some type of relationship with me, he may have an issue moving forward politically, because that's just how the chips fall. That's just how the chips fall, right? But, yeah, man, you know, look, it's been a long journey. Like I say, y'all don't know what I've been through. Y'all don't know what kind of journey this was. Y'all don't know the joy, the hurt, the pain, the frustration, the celebration. This has been one hell of a roller coaster ride. And I would not trade this in for nothing in the world. I wouldn't trade this moment in for nothing in the world. Nothing at all. I don't have not one regret of anything that I have done advocating for you guys. I don't have not one regret. I wouldn't do nothing differently, because even my failures was a learning lesson. And some of my failures is victories in some people's lives. Right? So to all the haters out there, let me give y'all a couple of seconds. Thanks to you guys. You guys give me a lot of motivation. You guys remind me daily on why I should continue to do this work. You guys keep me motivated, right? And I appreciate the hate just as well as I appreciate the love. It's life. This is life, right? But I salute y'all. But one thing I would say about you haters, if you're going to criticize and critique me, don't critique me with your thumbs on social media or when you see me. Critique me with the work. Critique me with doing the rally. Show me the rally that you go do. Critique me with going to the chairman house and doing that, having a rally in front of his house. Critique me with going to MTA board meetings and getting the target put on your back. Critique me with going to Albany and creating hostility up there because you decided to do something. You decided to stand up for people. Don't critique me with your thumbs and just because your face got a hole in it. Critique me with actual action. That's what I want to see. Talk is cheap. Show me the work that you have done. To everyone, like I said, to everyone who supported me, guess what? It's up from here. It's up from here. It's about having a seat at the table. It's about advocating for the things that mean so much for you. And if you know Tremel Thompson history, you know I never wavered from our fight here. I never wavered from my fight here. So the next step is to get me elected, get me in 195 Montague, so I could see and be aware of the corruption firsthand. And we take it from there. But, this has been one hell of a journey. One hell of a journey. Like I said, also, just to remind y'all, you could donate. I'm still without a job, still unemployed. Some great things happening, but I'm still unemployed. You could donate via $ Progressive Action 100. And I'm here. I'm ready to turn it up a notch. So make sure that when those ballots come out, it's going to be my name on the independent section. You really going to have to read this election. You really going to have to read. In fact, I'm going to create a flyer of everyone that you should vote for this election in RTO. Every single person that you should vote for, I'm going to create a flyer to make sure that you guys know exactly what's happening. I love you guys. Thanks for the support from day one up until now. It's not going to stop. I'm still going to do what I got to do for you guys. And love is love, man. The love will always overpower the hate. Peace.